Greetings everyone. Today we will start with the poem Death Be Not Proud, written by the metaphysical poet John Donne. Dear students, John Donne was 17th century poet and he is known as the metaphysical poet. Metaphysical poets were the poets who has written the poets in by using metaphysical conceits, means they have used far-fetched imagery and they have juxtaposed the opposing ideas in their poems. So in this poem the poet has directly addressed death and he has personified death, and the poet has tried to annihilate the fear of death which is found in most of the human beings. So let us start with this poem, Death Be Not Proud. So the poet has directly addressed death, that you should not be proud of yourself, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful. So the poet starts his poem that death should not be proud of itself. So in this poem death has been personified and the poet has addressed his subject, his topic directly, and according to the poet death is considered to be mighty, powerful and horrible thing for most of the persons, for thou art not so. But according to the poet, death is not so much frightening to him. This is neither powerful nor horrible sort of thing for the poet. For those whom thou thinkst thou dost overthrow, die not, poor death, not yet canst thou kill me. So in this poem, the poet has again highlighted the quality of death. If few person thinks that death can overthrow everything, and which is considered to be the final truth of life, and death is the stern reality that every living person has to die one day. But the poet says that death cannot overthrow any person, and the poet has here talked about the immortality of soul. According, this is the Christian and as well as Hindus belief that the soul is eternal thing, whereas this body is transient thing. So whenever we refer to any kind of religious text, let it be Gita or Bible, they have talked, or the Qurans of Muslims, they have talked, they have means enormous discussion about the mortality of life, whereas eternity of our soul. Muslims call it ruh, in Christians call it soul, and we Hindus call it Atma. There is a reference in Gita that Nenam Chindanti Sastrani, Nenam Dehati Pauke, Ne Chenam Kledintyapo, Ne Shoshiyate Marute. Means fire cannot burn it, water cannot make it wet, and the air cannot dry it. Death is eternal. It cannot be extinguished by any forces available in this world. So here the poet has given the reference to our soul that death can kill our body, but it cannot kill our souls. So the poet has directly addressed death, and he challenges death that you don't have the power to kill me. So from rest and sleep, here the poet has compared, he has used the metaphor of rest and sleep to highlight, means to develop an analogy between rest, sleep and death. So according to the poet, whenever we take rest and whenever we sleep, after getting up we feel fresh and energized. Means after having a short sleep we wake up fresh and more healthy and more energetic. In the same way, whenever this body dies after death and it is reborn into any other life, and that time there is a fresh beginning. So death doesn't have the power to kill the spirit of a person. So according to the poet, death is akin to rest and sleep, and those are the pictures, those are the images of death, and a person wake up after having rest and sleep and he is fully charged and his body is energized again. Much pleasure then from the much more must flow. So here the repetition of M sound, much more must. So the poet has used alliteration. Alliteration we can say in Hindi anupras. जिस तरीके से अनुप्रास अलंकार के अंदर इनिशियल साउंड का रिपीटिशन होता है, इन द सेम वे इन इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज इनिशियल साउंड of repeated. So here the repetition of m sound. So much pleasure than from the. There is a use of archaic word the, means in present day English it means you. So the poet has deliberately chosen the archaic words in this poem to describe the eternity of his subject matter and theme. So according to the poet, the spirit as well as the subject matter is eternal. So he has carefully chosen words in this poem. So much pleasure than from thee much more must flow, and soonest our best man with thee do go. So the poet has given the reference of a famous proverb that the persons whom God likes die young, कि जिन लोगों को भगवान पसंद करता है they die in early stage of their life. So here is a reference to that proverb कि we derive, the way we derive pleasure from rest and sleep, same way death also cannot kill our soul, and we should also derive pleasure from death. Death is not an end to a person's soul. And the poet further says that the persons who are dear to God, those persons die very early in their life. Rest of their bones and souls delivery. So their bones take rest in their respective graves, and this is a freedom or delivery, means liberation of their souls. So there is a reference of Christian mythology and Christian belief that human soul which remains trapped in this body, and that soul is released after death of a person. So means the soul which feels trapped in this body, and the poet has given the reference to another Christian belief that the human being's soul that dwells in heaven in the company of God, and when we take birth upon this in this world, that time this soul leaves the company of God and it descends to earth, and that time it has to live in the company of sin and misfortunes. So the poet says that कि after death our soul is liberated from our body. So I will quote Percy B.C. Shelley, another famous romantic poet who has written an elegy in the memory of his dear friend John Keats' death. In that also he has given the reference to the liberation of soul by these lines. I quote, life like a dome of many colored glasses stains the white radiance of eternity until death tramples it into pieces. Means life is a dome of many colored glasses and which stains the white radiance of eternity. Radiance of eternity means God, heaven, and that dome is the human body, and the light inside that dome, that is reference to human body, and the external light is the reference to God. Means when this dome is demolished, when the death destroys this body, that time the human soul reunites with the universal soul, that is God. And this reference has also found in the bhakti poems written by the Indian poets like जल में कुंभ कुंभ में जल है, भीतर बाहर पानी, फूटा कुंभ जल जल ही समाना. मीन्स जो जल में कुंभ, यहाँ जो रेफरेंस दिया गया है जल का, तो जल का मतलब है घड़े के अंदर का जो जल है, दैट इज आवर ह्यूमन सोल, एंड जो घड़ा है दैट पिक्चर इज आवर बॉडी, एंड जो पॉन्ड है, जो पॉन्ड का जो वाटर है, दैट इज द रेफरेंस टू गॉड. मीन्स व्हेन दिस पिक्चर इज डिस्ट्रॉयड, मीन्स व्हेन द ह्यूमन बॉडी इज डिस्ट्रॉयड आफ्टर डेथ, दैट टाइम ह्यूमन सोल reunites with the universal soul. So this belief has been found in Hindu mythology as well as in Christian mythology. So there is a reference to those mythologies in this poem, and the poet says that death is not so powerful because thou art slave to fate. Death is not an independent thing in itself. It has to retort to misfortune or luck or orders of the king and bad luck of a person, that time only a person dies. Death cannot kill a person directly. It has to take help either from his misfortunes or diseases or the orders or cruelties of the kings. So we can say that there is a reference to the cruelties of kings and misfortunes in this poem. Means this world is full of so many bad sort of things. So, and dosed with poison, war and sickness dwell. So here in this poem the poet says that dwelling place means abode of death is also not so good. It has to dwell in the company of poison or in war or sickness. Means either a person dies of war or he dies of his own sickness or he is killed by giving him poison or he ingested it by himself. Means death lives in the company of such bad things. So it cannot be called to be a powerful thing, because it itself is a weak sort of thing, and it is a not dependent. So it is slave to the bad luck, chance, orders of the kings, and lives in the company of poison, war, sickness, etc. And poppy and charms can make us sleep as well. And the poet further says that death induces sleepiness, and sleepiness can be better induced by consuming opium or by magical spell also. When we hypnotize a person and by creating a magical spell upon him, we can induce sleep also, and better than death. So the poet says that death is not such a nice sort of thing. It is powerless as well as slave, living in a very bad company. In this way we can say that the poet has tried his best to evade the fear of death from the ordinary person's minds. And better than thy stroke, why solest thou then? The poet then says that death, that she should not boast of itself, that it is powerful and almighty sort of things. One short sleep past. The poet further says that when we sleep for some time and when we get up, that time we feel energetic. So the poet says that after the after the destruction of this body and after our death, our soul again goes back to heaven, and a person, and it again descends to earth, and a person is reborn again. So death can kill our body, but it cannot kill our souls, and death shall be no more, death thou shall die. And in the last line of this poem, the poet further says that we should not be scared of death because it is not so powerful, and when we take out its fear, that time death will die itself. Thank you very much.